Why don't you start us off maybe with some thoughts about midway through camp at this point on how things have gone so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've pushed them pretty hard, and I think they've responded pretty well. You know, the biggest thing is we got to learn to finish across the board. You got a lot of new guys, especially on the defensive side. So, you know, the best way to me to bond them is hard work together. And you know, there's been days we embrace that better than others, but overall, I think we're moving in the right direction. It's just a long ways to go, and we got to make sure we make progress every day.
Anyone stood out to you, the new guys, defensive line maybe specifically?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a day-to-day, a play-to-play process on that. So it's like, yeah, there's guys all over flashing, you know, but who can be consistent on it? And who can do it when it gets hard? You know, early in practice, that's one thing. Early in camp, that's one thing. Okay, when you're in helmets, that's one thing. It's a whole other deal when it's real football, you know. So I think we're figuring that out.
How do you get ready for real football, you know, ahead of the first week, you know, with tackling and everything? It feels like that's always something that progresses as the season goes on.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, I don't think anybody that's watching this would say we did a very good job of that last year on defense. So, you know, the biggest thing is continue to work all those fundamentals every single day. Coach Moore does a great job of putting us in positions with a physical camp, you know, defensively. And so it's stressing every single finish every single day because not every play can be live. But anytime you're thud tempo or you're in a situation where it's even tag off or whatever, your leverages, your finishes, you know, straining to get 11 hats to the ball, I mean, that's the stuff we're trying to focus on every day, which every defensive coach in America says it, but we got to get them to do it.
You put in the new system last year. Is it any easier year two, even with a lot of new people?
Yeah, if we had all those guys back, it'd be easier, you know. So no, to be honest with you, no. But I'll say this again, and I'm not just saying it to say it. The way Coach Moore sets up his year-round schedule and allows us to develop them in that regard, you know, these guys have done a really nice job. And this is the truth. We've pushed them harder schematically from a learning capacity standpoint than I did last year with last year's group, you know. And right, wrong, or indifferent, time will tell. But that's what we've done. And they've done a nice job of buying into that.
Is that based on the fact that they're more veteran players and they've played a lot of football?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Some of that is that. Some of that is, you know, I think back, and I mean, you got to evaluate yourself too, you know, and you go into some of those games and I look back and I think, well, did we have everything we needed? You know, did I give them every bullet in the chamber to be successful? So you never want to overload them, but you also want to make sure you expose them to enough that you can adapt and be versatile enough to give offenses different looks, and so that's the plan we've taken, you know.
When you evaluate the year before, like in the offseason, what sort of numbers are you mostly paying attention to? What matters the most?
Everything. I mean, you just, you know, look, for me at least, I mean, you know, you're never satisfied with any of it. So you're just looking at every single rock you can turn over to try to improve, right? And then you're also trying to evolve and see how people are attacking you and what vulnerabilities you've shown on film and how people might try to expose those down the line. And so it's all of it, you know what I mean? It's all of it. Like, you look at us, okay? Third down defense was really good, okay? First and second down defense actually wasn't that good. You know, we just got to fill in third down, okay? Red zone defense as far as touchdown percentage was really good, okay? But you know, we didn't take the ball away very well. So, I mean, there's just so many things that you can improve upon. And so I look at all of them.
You've got Jackson Mitchell helping out. How's that working out so far, him being just around the team? Like, is it helpful to have a former Husky like that can really relate to what these guys are going through?
I think so. I mean, I think you got Jackson. You've got Ronte running around. And, you know, I didn't coach Jackson, so that's a little bit different. At least Ronte, you know, the good thing about Ronte is a guy that's been here and, you know, I came in and he probably looked cross-eyed at me early on, like, well, who is this guy? What in the world is he doing? And you know, and bought into it. And so he can be a liaison there for all these new guys. Jackson's just a great presence because he's been here, done that. These guys know him. I mean, they know him better than I know him. I mean, but you know, he's going to be a good coach. He's a good person, first of all. He's a smart guy. He works really hard, and so those are the ingredients for a good coach as far as a launch pad. So, been pleased to have him.
What are some of the biggest challenges when you're trying to incorporate, you know, so many new guys into the mix?
Oh, well, all of it, right? I mean, the biggest thing is, I don't mean to be, you know, sarcastic, but I mean, the truth is you've got schematics, right, and all that. Okay, that's all good, and that's all important. But I mean, if they don't gel and work hard together and come together when they get punched in the mouth, so to speak, then that, to me, that's the fear, right? That's the biggest difference. You asked that question a second. All right, last year, them guys had to get used to me, okay, but they didn't have to get used to each other. You know, they'd been through some battles, okay? So now you got a group that's got to get used to me and each other. And so that's the biggest thing. And look, I mean, people say, all right, go take them out to whatever, dinner, take them out to a pool party or paintball or whatever. Well, I think the biggest way you bond is doing really hard things with them, you know, and push them through adversity, because that's one thing that's guaranteed in football. And so that's what we try to do, you know. All right?
Thank you.
All right, guys.